హలో గొలి, మనం అనుకున్నట్టుగానే ఫ్రీ ఎక్సెల్ కోర్స్ మన ఛానల్లో లాంచ్ చేసాము. సో కంప్లీట్ గా చూడండి, ఎక్సెల్ మంచిగా నేర్చుకోండి. ఫ్రెషర్స్ కి అయితే చాలా యూజ్ అవుతుంది. ఎందుకంటే ఎంఐఎస్ అని చెప్పి ప్రతి కంపెనీలోని జాబ్ ఉంటుంది, ఇదంతా ఎక్సెల్ మీదే ఉంటుంది. సో ఇక్కడ నుంచి మన కెరియర్ కూడా చాలా ఈజీగా బిల్డ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు అనమాట. సో ఈ ఎంఐఎస్ జాబ్ ఏంటి, ఇక్కడ నుంచి మన కెరియర్ ఎలా బిల్డ్ చేసుకోవాలి అని చెప్పి ఆల్రెడీ మన పాడ్కాస్ట్ చేసాము. సో నేను ఇక్కడ లింక్ ఇస్తాను. సో ఆ పాడ్కాస్ట్ చూడండి, చూస్తే మీకు ఈ ఎక్సెల్ నేర్చుకుని మన కెరియర్ పాత్ అనేది ఎలా గ్రో చేసుకోవాలి అనేది క్లియర్ గా మీకు అర్థమవుతుంది. సో ఎంజాయ్ ద ఎక్సెల్ కోర్స్ గైస్. సో ఇంకేమైనా కోర్స్ మీకు నేర్చుకోవాలనుకుంటే కనుక కింద కమెంట్ చేయండి. ఆ పర్టికులర్ ట్రైనర్ తో వీడియోస్ చేపించి మనం దాంట్లో ఫ్రీగా కోర్స్ అనేది పెడతాము. ఒకవేళ అది అవ్వకపోతే కనుక ఇన్స్టాగ్రామ్ లో డిఎం చేయండి, ఈ పర్టికులర్ కోర్స్ కావాలని చెప్పి. నేను ఆ ప్రొఫెషనల్ తీసుకుని అతని కాంటాక్ట్ నెంబర్ మీకు షేర్ చేస్తాను. సో దట్ మీరు ఆ కోర్స్ ఈజీగా నేర్చు. అండ్ ఇంకొకటి, మన ద్వారా కోర్స్ నేర్చుకునేలాగైతే ఐ విల్ గివ్ యూ 20% డిస్కౌంట్. అంటే ఒక 10,000 అయితే మీరు 8,000 పే చేసుకుంటే నేను 2,000 పే చేస్తాను. సో ఎంజాయ్ ద కోర్స్ గైస్. బాయ్.
Then we use tables, right? Pivot tables. So we use pivot table to create reports or summarize data in Excel. Like here I have bank name. I want to see each bank wise total sales I want. So I need one report where I can showcase each bank wise total sales I want. Then yes, we can go for pivot table. We can go for pivot table. Not only this, we also use pivot table to analyze the data in Excel. Let's say I have here month date column. I want to understand each month on month how many sales that we have done. So then in that case also we need pivot table, right? So to understand the data in Excel, or to understand the data, we wanted to create some reports, then we use pivot table, right? So where actually this pivot table available? Pivot table available in insert tab. So in insert tab, then we have pivot table. We have pivot table, right? Now to create this pivot table, so we have two checkpoints. First one is columns should not be empty. Now, for example, I have here, let me delete this discount column, that will correct later. I have here 4 columns. If I have some empty column is there. If I am trying to create pivot table, insert, and we say pivot table. So you can see it is just selecting only first 2 columns, right? Remaining, if we have an empty column, so it is leaving the remaining data. So whenever you have first point, column should not be empty. So we have 2 columns. After that, if we have empty column, you should not have any empty column, right? Similarly, row should not be empty. Let's say you have some inserting. We have one row. If I'm trying to insert, and if I say pivot table, now you can see it is collecting only continuous data. It is selecting continuous data. If you have some empty rows, then pivot table will read the remaining data, right? So the first step, column should not be empty, row should not be empty, right? Next, how to create a pivot table. So to create a pivot table, either we can select the data like this, select the data and select the data, and we can go to insert, and we say here pivot table, insert, and we say pivot table, right? Now then we have two options. Choose where you want the pivot table report to be placed, right? So we have two options, new worksheet, existing worksheet, right? So when you say here new worksheet, if we click on OK, so it is going to create a separate Excel worksheet, and then it will create a pivot table. Now I can say new worksheet. I can see it just generated a new Excel sheet which contains pivot table, right? Now apart from this, let's say if I'm trying to insert a pivot table, insert pivot table, default it will take as a new worksheet. Otherwise, we can also have option called a choose worksheet. When we say choose worksheet, we need to select the location where actually you want to create the pivot table. Let's say if I click on here existing worksheet, Then we can select location where you want to create a pivot table. Let's say I want to create a pivot table here. Then select this particular cell and we click on OK. So it is going to create a pivot table on the given location. Right. So based on this requirement, we can select the pivot table. So I'm just going with first, I'll just go with new worksheet. We can understand easily. So we can go for insert pivot table and we can say here new worksheet, click on OK. Right. It's got created a pivot table. Now what pivot table contains? Pivot table contains row label, column label, sigma and report filter. Fine. So what is this row label? Whenever you drag and drop any field into row label, we can get the data at row level. We can get the data at row level. Suppose example, I want to see each bank wise total sales. So then what I will do, I will drag and drop bank name into row label. So when we drag and drop bank name into row label, we can see information at information at row level, right? Similarly, if we drag and drop bank name into column, then same information I can show at column level, right? So if I drag and drop here row label, we can see my values are repeating. I can see HDFC Bank is repeating more than one time, but here I can see only one time. So I can see data at row level, right? Then we have values sigma. We use sigma for calculation. Normally in my raw data, I have sales column. So if I drag and drop my sales column into sigma, just observe, it is going to show as a sum of sales. So whenever we drag and drop any number column, sales is my number column. If you drag and drop sales, it is going to show as a sum of sales, right? Similarly, if you drag and drop any text column, if I drag and drop any text column, like here, we have bank name. Bank name is what? Text. Status is also a text, right? If I drag and drop status into my sigma, then what we can see, we can getting count. We are getting count because this is my text column. So we can see here count. What it means, Kotak contains 84 records and this is the total sales. SBI contains 73 times 73 records and this is my sales, right? So row label, column label, sigma, and we have report filter. So we use this report filter whenever we want to filter the data in pivot table. Let's say if I drag and drop status into report filter. So then we can see it will display. If I select here high, then it's going to show high performance. If I select here poor, then it's going to show poor performance. So we can apply filter on pivot table. We can use this report filter option. Okay. So we'll do it again. We will create reports. Let's say I want to create a report. I want to show each bank wise status wise sales I want. Hmm? Bank wise status wise sales I want. So I've written everything. So how to create a pivot table, select the data, go to insert and pivot table. Pivot table contain 4 blocks. Row label, if you drag and drop any field into row label, then we can see the data at row level. Column label, if you drag and drop any field into column label, then we can see the data at column level. Sigma, we use sigma for a calculation. If you drag and drop any number column into sigma, it aggregates to sum. And if you drag and drop any text column into sigma, it aggregates to count. Then we have report filter. We use report filter to apply filter on pivot table. Right? Let's see, I want to create this report bank wise, status wise, sales. So here I want bank name, then each status and sales. Again bank name, each status and sales. Right? So what we will do, we will select the data, go to insert and we say here pivot table. Pivot table, click on OK. Fine. Now if I drag and drop bank name into row label, right? Then status into row label, then sales into sigma, right? So we can see each bank wise, status wise, sales, bank wise, status wise, sales, like same thing, bank wise, status wise, sales, right? No, actually, yeah, I can get the information, but it is not giving the right information. I mean, say like here, total are showing on top. Actually, I am expecting total should be displayed at the bottom. Like here, I'm expecting. Similarly, SBI total should be reflected at the bottom, not on top, right? So to get these totals at bottom, so we say right click, pivot table options. We go for display option, display classic pivot table layout, classic pivot table layout, and I click on OK. Click on OK. Now you can see each bank wise, status wise, sales. So we need to drag and drop bank name into row label, status into row label, and sigma. Fine. Then I can copy. We can copy, and I can paste here. So when you are pasting, you should say right click, paste special, and we have to select values. Right. So then I don't want this row. I will delete. Then each bank wise total sales. Right. Like this way. Right. Like this way. Now next, like here I've written everything. So to change the display of pivot table, right click on pivot table option, then display, we need to check classic pivot table layout. Like right click on pivot table options, display classic pivot table layout. Now let's say here, so fine, Kotak is representing for all these four status, right? Even SBI representing all these four status. Then what I want to do, I want to merge all these things into a one single group. I mean say I want to merge all these cells. I want to merge all these cells. Then what we can do, so what we can do, so we can say here, right click on this row label, we say right click, pivot table options. Then we need to click on here layout and format, merge and center cells with labels. We have to select this option, merge and center cells with label. Click on this option, check this option, click on OK, click on OK. Now you can see it is like a merge. It's like a merge. So I can get this expand and collapse. Whichever I want to expand it, I can expand this option, right? Like this way. You can also merge. So like in this way. So to merge the cells, right click on pivot table options, layout and format. We need to check merge and center cells with label, right? Like this way. Now let's say I want to create a report. I want bank name, then I want sales, then I want average sales. I want total sales, average sales, maximum sales, minimum sales. Hmm, I want this information, right? So what we will do, we can again select the data. We can go to insert and we say here pivot table. Right. So we just drag and drop bank name into row label, sales into sigma. So we can say each bank wise total sales. That's what we want, bank wise total sales. Then what we want, I want to see average sales for each bank. So to get the average sales for each bank, we need to drag and drop. We need to drag and drop sales into sigma. Then we say right click on sales to, we can go to value field settings. Then here we can see summarize value by default it is showing as a sum, right? So instead of sum, I'm expecting average sales. Then we select here average option. Average, click on OK. It's going to as a average sales, right? Now same thing, if I wanted to see, uh, again I will drag and drop sales. Then if I wanted to see again sum of sales, I want maximum sales. Right click, value field settings, summarize value by, I can select here max option to get maximum value, 4986, right? Similarly, I want to see minimum value. We'll drag and drop sales. We say right click, value field settings, min option, minimum value, right? Like this way. So we can see for Kotak, what is my max total sales, average sales, max sales, minimum sales, right? So we can copy and paste, copy, then we can say paste, right? So we can apply all these formattings. I want to apply some currency symbol. Yes, we can apply some currency symbol, right? We can apply, we can change all type of formatting. Sales info by bank. So we can apply again border, all these things, right? Like in this way. So whenever we wanted to create any reports, so we need to use first pivot table. So I've written everything. So to change the aggregation sum max min, right click on pivot table, value field settings, then you have to select sum average max min, right? Now next I want to create month wise sales, month name, and then I want sales. Okay, but actually if you look at in my data, we don't have any month column, but I want to create month on month sales. I want, fine. Then select the data, go to insert pivot table, we click on OK, right? So we don't have month, right? So generally in pivot table, we have a concept called group concept. So with the help of group concept, we can create this month on month sales. So I'll type drag and drop date column here, then sales column, fine. So I want to show month on month sales. This is my date wise sales, but I want to show month on month. Then right click on this date. We say here group option, select this group option. Then we have months, select this months option, click on OK. So it's going to show month on month sales, So what we are trying to do, if you wanted to group, right click on this date column, we go for group option, group and grouping by which level you want to group. I want to group month on month. Then click on here, OK, month and select group. Click on OK. So it's going to show month on month sales. Right. Let's say if you wanted to show quarter wise, month wise sales, then we right click on this date column. We go for a group. Then we select here quarter and months together. Then click on OK. So then we can show quarter one month on month sales, quarter two month on month sales, right? And if you wanted to show quarter sales here, right click on the quarter, we can show subtotal quarters. Then you can show each quarter wise sales, right? Again, to change the display, right click on the pivot table option. Then we go for display, classic pivot table layout. Click on OK. Like this. So we can show quarter wise, month wise sales, but we don't have any quarter column, month column, but still we can show the data quarter wise, month wise sales. Right. So I've written here to change the grouping, drag and drop date field into label, row label, right click on the date group, select month, quarter, year, whichever you wanted to show. Then to display quarter total, right click on the quarter, select subtotals. Right. So we select here quarter on quarter. I can copy and paste like month wise, quarter wise. I want the data. We can show quarter wise. I can select here quarter. Then we select here month sales. We can format. We can do all this stuff. Whatever we have done for previous options. Right. Quarter wise, month wise sales we can show, whereas we don't have any quarter in the data. Fine. Again, to remove the group, we can simple. We can say right click on the group. We say ungroup option. Ungroup option. Group will not be there. Group will not be there. Now next, how to change the data source. Let's see. Suppose let me create a pivot table first. I'll select the data. Insert pivot table. We click on OK. Right. So if I drag and drop bank name and sales, so we have each bank wise sales. Each bank wise we have total sales. Right. Now let's say in my raw data, so discount column got added. Let's say we don't have any discount column as of now. We have bank name, status, sales. Let's say I'm going to add discount column. Discount column. We enter here 100 to 500. Right. So we have discount. We have some discount. Right. Fine. So we have discount column. Now basically I don't have discount column in my pivot table. I want to add discount information into my pivot table. Fine. So to add this discount information, what we are going to do, we'll click on this pivot table. Once we click on this pivot table, here options will activate. Options will activate. Click on this option and we say here change data source. Once we click on this change data source, we will get an option to select the data. Right. Now if I say here change data source, now we can say select the data. So we have selected A to D column. I want to select till E column. So we can select the data again. Select the data and click on OK. Now I can see discount column. Right. So whenever there is a situation, you are adding a new column. Column is not available in your pivot table, but still you want to show in pivot table. Then what we have to do, click on the pivot table, go to options, and we say here change data source option. Change data source and select the data, click on OK. Right. So we drag and drop discount. So we have sales and discount by month. I mean, say like each bank wise sales and discount. Right. So I've written here. So to change the data in pivot table, so to add or change the data into pivot table, click on a pivot table, options, analyze. Then we have option called change the data source. Select the data, click on OK till here. Right. And I've also written a note. If we add new column in the selected data from pivot table, then go to options and refresh. So what actually it means, let's say I will delete this discount column, right? So I'll select it again. I'm just selecting these 4 columns, insert, and we say pivot table, click on OK. Click on OK. So we drag and drop. Again, say same thing, bank name. I'll drag and drop bank name and sales, right? So we don't have any discount column. Let me refresh. We don't have any discount column in the data. So we have bank name and sales only we have. Fine. Now I'm going to add this bank name before my sales column. Previously, we have added a sales after sales column. Then we have used change data source option. But this time we are going to add discount before this sales column. Insert and we say discount. Discount. 100 to 500. Then I'm going to add discount before my sales column. Before my sales column, I have added discount column. Right. So I want to show this discount information in this pivot table. Fine. So then what we can do, we can just say right click and we say refresh. Refresh. We say refresh. Now you can see discount column got added. Fine. So previously what we have done, we have clicked on the table, we go to options and change data source. But this time we are not going with change data source. We are going with, we are just add a new field before my selected columns, before selected columns, right? Like this way. Now I've written over here like uh, if we add any new column in a selected data in a pivot table, then go and options, right click and say refresh. Now let's say, now I want here sales minus discount. Sales minus discount I want. Fine. But here in my raw data, we don't have any sales minus discount. We don't have any sales minus discount, but I want sales minus discount. So in that case, we can create our own calculations field. We can create our own calculations field. Let's see how to create calculations field. Okay, to create the sales minus discount, click on pivot table, go to options, then field item and sets. Then click on here calculated field. Calculated field. So field name. Field name. So let's say here actual sales. The field name I want to give actual sales and formula. Now in place of formula, I will write here sales minus discount. Sales minus discount. Right? So if we click on OK, it's going to perform sales minus discount. So we don't have any sales minus discount, but still I can create a formula in pivot table. Right? Similarly, I want discount percentage. So to create this discount percentage, I want to perform discount divided by sales. Then go to options, field item and sets, calculated field. Then we write here discount percentage. So discount divided by sales. Discount divided by sales. Click on OK. Then we can say here percentage. We can clear here percentage. Right? Like in this way. So whenever we don't have any calculations, I mean, say if we don't have any formula, we wanted to create a formula in pivot table. Yes, we can go with this calculated field option. Field item and sets calculated field. We need to enter the field name and formula. Right? Now next, now written here, so field item insets. Now calculated field to create a new column. To create a new column in pivot table, click on pivot table options, analyze field item and sets. So option name is calculated field. So field name is actual sales and sales minus discount. Sales minus discount we perform. Right? Now next, now if I share this pivot table, if I share this pivot table with my clients, so then I wanted to give information about these fields. I want to give information about these fields. Then click on the pivot table, go to options, field item and sets. Then we go for list formulas. Option is list formulas. Now once we click on here list formulas, it is going to create a separate Excel sheet, and then it will display. It will give the all I would say uh, all the formulas. I can say list formulas. I can say list of formulas. It just created a field name and formula. What is a formula used for that particular field? So whenever we are trying to share this report with our other people, so we should know, I mean, what type, what formula we have used. So then we need to click on here, options and sets, list formulas option. So I've written here, to view formulas used for calculated fields, click on pivot table, options, analyze options, or I can say analyze field item and sets, click list formulas. Right. Now next, let's say I'll insert a pivot table one. Click on pivot table. Now I'll drag and drop date into row label, date into row label. Then we drag and drop status, sales, and discount, actual sales, discount percentage. Fine. Fine. So I don't want any of these totals. We'll say unclick and check subtotal diamond. And we have excluded these totals. Right. Now I wanted to apply filter on this pivot table. Generally what we do, we use this report filter option. Right. I'll drag and drop bank name into report filter. Right. Now if I select here Kotak, then I can filter only Kotak information for only Kotak information. If I select here SBI, then I can show only SBI data. Right. Now let's say I want to create a filters. I want to show only HDFC data in this pivot table. So what I will do, I can select only HDFC, then I click on OK. Right. Now similarly, I got one more requirement, same pivot table, but they want for SBI. They want for SBI. Same pivot table, they want SBI. Then what I have to do? I have to create one more pivot table, right? So we can say create pivot table. I can create a pivot table, or what I have to do, either I can copy paste. Either I can copy this pivot table, same data, but only for SBI they want. So pivot table copy, then I can say here, insert new page. I will paste here. Then I have to change HDFC to SBI. Right? Same information, sales, discount, actual sales, everything is same, but they want SBI. Here they want for HDFC. Fine. Let's say they want same information for ICICI. Then what I have to do? Again, I have to copy and paste. Then again, I have to copy and paste. Then I have to change the field name into value. I have to change to IC. 1 second. sorry. Sorry. Fine. So basically I need same information for HDFC, same information for ICICI. So instead of copy paste or creating a table once again, we can go for this under pivot table. Like here, once we click on the pivot table, go to this options. Under options, we have option called show report filter pages. Option is show report filter pages, right? So if I clear all, right, clear all. Now I want separate pivot table for each bank. Click on the pivot table, go to options, and we say here options, show report filter pages. Show report filter pages. Now observe, it is going to create a separate Excel sheets for each bank. Let's say here, show report filter pages. In filter, we have only bank name. Click on OK. Now you can see Kotak. We have Kotak information, SBI, HDFC, right? ICICI, like this. So for each bank, it is going to create a separate pivot table. Right? Now similarly, let's say here, if I am going to add status as well, let's say I'll drag and drop status into the report field. Now this time, like in status, we have 4 different status: average, high, low, poor. I want to create each status wise sales, each status wise same pivot table, each status wise same pivot table. Then click on the pivot table, go to options. Then we say here field item and sets. Then sorry, options. Then go here options, and we say show report filter pages. Show report filter pages. Right? Then select which information you wanted to create a separate pivot table. Like I want to create for status, then we click here status column, click on OK. Now you can say click on OK. It just got created separate pivot tables. Now here average. Average we have only average data filtered in this pivot table. High, only high data got filtered, low and poor, like this. I mean each separate it's going to create a separate pivot table for each uh, status, right? So I mean this is how we can create a separate pivot table for each uh, report. So I've written everything here. So here we've written. So to create to generate a separate pivot table based on the report filter column, click on pivot table, options, and say options, click on report filter pages, click on field name and click on OK. Select the field name, click on OK. Right. Now, next we have how to change the format. Let's say I click on here insert pivot table, click on OK. Right. I'll drag and drop bank name, then I'll drag and drop status, total sales, total. Yeah, this is work. Okay, let me like this in this way. Okay, we have this way. Now let's say here we wanted to change the display of this pivot table. Then click on the pivot table, go to design. Under design we have design options, layout option, so we can change this pivot table in a different format. Now you can see first option that we have is that we'll go with first a grand total. Like here we have a total, here we have a total, right? So whether you wanted to total will be available or not, you can check and uncheck. Now if I say here grand total off for rows and columns, when we click on here off for rows and columns, then there is no grand total. Now you can see we don't have any total. We don't have any total, right? Similarly, options, so design, we say grand total on for rows and columns. When you say on for rows and columns, both will get row level we have grand total, And column level also we have a row level, we have grand total, column level also we have a grand total, right? Then we have here on for rows only. When you say on for rows only row level, only row level we can get the grand total. We have only for rows. Column level we don't have any grand total, right? Now similarly, grand total on for columns only. When we select on for column, we have column level grand total. But row level we don't have any grand total. Row level we don't have any grand total. Right? So we have option on or off. We can select on or off for grand total, either row level or column level. We can change the format. We can change the design. I can say layout. Right. Next here we have subtotal option. When you say subtotal, if I add status into my bank name, right, and I'll drag and drop my date into column, we will convert this date into months. Let's say I'll convert this into months. No, it's not giving the right picture. Right. So I have some total. I have some total. This is my subtotal, right? Kotak total and each status wise. SBI total each status wise. HDFC total each status wise. So we have subtotals. Now when we say here subtotal option, we have do not show, first of all, layout. If we wanted to change out this layout, so we have option called report layout. In report layout, we have show in compact form. So the default option is show in compact form only. Now it is in compact form only. When you say here show in compact form, then show in outline form. Show in outline form, it will be displayed like this. So you can see some gap. I mean say here, previously it was like in this way. When you say here show outline form, you will get some column name should be separate and you will have some space and then you have a total, right? Show in compact form, outline form, then show in tabular form. When you say show in tabular form, this is nothing but classic pivot table layout. Show in tabular form. I can see subtotal. Earlier subtotal is showing on top. When you say tabular form, subtotal will be show at the bottom. Show at the bottom. Right? Now you can see subtotal. Sorry, my report layout show in tabular form. So bottom it will display. Bottom it will display. Right? Now next, repeat all item label. What actually it means? So this is my value. It is going to be a repeat. This is my value. It should be repeat. This is my value. It should be repeat. So I wanted to repeat this value. I want to repeat this value. Then we can go for repeat all items label. So when I say repeat all item label, now it is say Kotak, then we have a blank, right? This entire portion is belongs to Kotak only. So I want to copy Kotak for this thing and SBF for this portion. Then we can go for repeat all item label. All item label. Now you can see it is repeating. It's repeating, right? Like this way. Repeating all items. And then similarly, we have option called do not repeat. When I say do not repeat item, so this will not be repeated. Values will not be repeated. So repeating all items, do not repeat all items. Now next we have here blank rows. Blank rows, insert blank line after each item. So what actually it means? This is my Kotak. So once it is Kotak is completed, then I want one blank row. SBI data is completed, then I want one blank row. So then we can go for insert blank line after each item. Now you can see we are getting some blank line. After Kotak, we are getting blank line. SBI, then we are getting blank line. HDFC, then we are getting blank line, like this way. Right? Next is remove blank line. So if you don't want any blank line, we can remove it. You can say here, remove blank line after each item. So it will be line will be removed. So we have insert blank line, remove blank line. Now next we have here subtotal. So subtotal, like here we have a total, right? We have showing some totals. So if you don't want to show subtotal, then we can say do not show subtotal. So subtotals will not be there. Similarly, show all subtotal at the bottom of a group. So bottom of a group, right? So if you wanted to show the subtotals at top of a group, then what we have to do? First, we need to convert this into a compact form. Let's say it's a compact form. Then we say here, show all subtotal at the top, like this way, right? And if you wanted to change the design color, you wanted to apply design of this pivot table, then we can go to design. Here we have option. Like these are all design formatting. These are all formatting only. You can select whichever format that we wanted to apply here. Like in this way, you can format it. So I've written everything. So how to change the design? So to change the design and everything, we just click on the pivot table and go to options and say here layout option. Then we can say tabular, repeat already become different options are there. We can go ahead and check. Next we have here slicers. So what is slicer? Slicer is just work like a filter. It works like a filter. So whenever you wanted to apply filter, like we have a report level filter, repeat filter, same thing we have a slicer. Slicer is also work like a filter. Now can select the data. Let's say I'll just click on here bank date. I want to show all the values: bank name, status, sales, discount, actual sales, discount percentage. Then we can go to design. We can select as a tabular form, show in tabular form. We don't want this one. This one. Fine. Now, so what we can do, we can give an option to the user to filter the data from this uh, table. So to filter the data from this table, I'll just click on this pivot table. Then I go to here options. There is option called insert slicer. Insert slicer. We click on here insert slicer and select which one you wanted to give. I want to give bank name as a slicer. So we select here bank name, click on OK. Now you can see it is showing bank name as a slicer. Now then I can if I click on SBI, then it is going to show SBI data in my pivot table. If I click on HDFC, then it shows HDFC data. If you clear this filter, then you can say clear filter. Right? Not only this, we can also give average. I mean status also one more type of slicer. Click on the pivot table, go to options, insert slicer. I want to go with status. Click on OK. Right? So if I say I want to see SBI poor records I want, then I can click on SBI, then I click on here poor. So it's going to be filter SBI poor combination, how many records are there, right? Even we can also change this display and format. Let's say I want to show this into two columns. It's showing as a one column. Then click on the slicer, go to slicer options, and you can see here columns. Columns. We can increase this column. We can increase the column. Two columns. We say two columns going to show in two columns. Right? Even this also I want to show in two columns. Click on the slicer. We can increase the slicer count. Right? So we can select here formatting as well. We can select a different formats, dark format, light format. right? So we can keep in this way. Let's increase this option, increase the threes. Right? So I can give an option. I can select HDFC data I want. Okay, and I can see HDFC data. I want to say only average performance. I can click on average, HDFC average, how many, what is the information I have, I can check. So like in this way, we can give an option to the user to check their performance. Right? So this is how we can use the slicer. So I have written for slicer as well. Slice, like we use slicer to apply filter on pivot table. Click on the pivot table options and insert slicer. Select the field and click on OK. Right, to change the display of the slicer, click on slicer option, select the required format. Right, like this. Now we'll see one more option, last option, how to change the contribution. Change the contribution. So basically to change the values into a contribution, let me insert a pivot table. Insert pivot table, click on OK. So drag and drop bank name and status into columns, sales into sigma, right? So I have each bank wise total sales. Now my requirement is I want to see Kotak each status wise. This is my total 253957. Right. Now I want to convert this number. I want to convert this number. I want to understand Kotak average. What is the percentage? Kotak high. What is the percentage? Kotak low. What is the percentage? Kotak poor. What is the percentage? Fine. I want to convert these numbers into percentages. Numbers into percentages. Right. So in that case, we can go for percentage option. Like here I want to see each row. This is my total records and this is my total, right? So this value divided by my total, this value divided by total, right? So to get this information, right click on the pivot table, value field settings, we go for show value as. Show value as. So we want to perform the calculation at row level. We can go for percent of row total. Percent of row total. When you say percent of row total, it is going to calculate this value divided by total value. Click on OK. Now you can see 22%, 30%. So sum of all this percentage, it's 100%. Right? Fine. Similarly, let's I'll copy paste. If I don't want any total, we can right click on this value. We can say show value field setting, then show value as. We mentioned as a no calculation. We don't want any calculation. Click on OK, just like a number. Right. Similarly, I want to see at column level. Column level, I want to perform the calculation. This value divided by total. This value divided by total. Like here, Kotak and average for each bank is, this is my average for each bank. I want to calculate the percentage. So this value divided by total value. This value divided by total value. Column level, I want to perform the calculation. Then we can say right click, value field settings, show value as percent of column total. Percent of column total. If you click on OK, now you can see column level we are getting 100%. Column level we are getting 100%. Like in this way. Right? So whenever we wanted to convert numbers into contribution percentages, then we can go for this percent of row total, percent of column total. So I've written here to change the number into contribution. So right click on pivot table, value field settings, show value as percent of row total, percent of column total. Right? So guys, just go through the recording once because this is an important topic in Excel. So whenever you go wherever, which uh, whether it is a banking or clinical, if you are working in Excel, definitely we use this pivot table. So if you wanted to create the reports in pivot table, there is no other option we have. So we have to go through pivot tables, right? Now, next we'll try to understand how to create a charts in Excel. Charts in Excel. Then what else is pending? I'm just checking data type. So last time what we have done, previous session, okay, we completed all the functions and conditional formatting. It's fine. We'll start with here for how to create charts in Excel. And pending ones are okay. I will complete it. No problem. Fine. We'll start with charts. How to create a chart. So basically, charts. Let's say I have. Let me copy this thing. Right? So I want to create a chart. So to create a chart, select the data. First, select the data. Go to insert, and we have option called chart option. So we have different type of a charts like column chart, line chart, pie chart, bar chart, area chart. So based on the situation, we select the chart type. So generally, whenever you have some categorical data, like we have some numeric information, sales, like somewhere Kotak is a bank, and then we have some number. So something like categorical data we have, product wise sales, or we can say some um, categories or subcategories. So this type of categorical data then we can go for column chart, column chart, column chart. We can go for column chart, or I can say bar chart. Hmm. So I want to show categorical data. This is my bank wise sales. I'll just go with column chart first. We click on here, column chart. So 2D, 3D, we have cone, all are same only. I mean, say different, visibility is different, but options are same. So I'll go for a column chart, click on here, column chart, right? So now this is my chart, right? So once we select the data, just select the data and we say insert and we select the chart. So it's going to create a chart. Now this chart contains couple of options. Now this chart is divided into majorly two areas. One we call as a chart area, second we call as a plot area. Chart area and plot area. This is what chart area. This is what plot area. Chart area and plot area. So whenever we wanted to change chart type, let's say this is my column chart. This is my column chart. I want to convert this column chart into line chart. Then we can say right click on this chart area, change chart type. Option is change chart type. We can select what chart you wanted to see. So I want to go with line chart. So we can select here line and click on OK. So the same chart convert into line chart, right? Similarly, if I wanted to convert this chart into again back to my column chart, I can say change chart type. I can select column. It's a column chart, right? So basically to create a chart, select the data, and go to insert, select chart, select chart, right? Select this chart. Now to change chart, I can write here chart contains two areas. One is called chart area, plot area, right? To change the chart type, right click on chart area and we say change chart type, and select the chart select the chart which you want to change, right? So we can select the chart area, right? So chart area and then plot area. Now this is nothing but this we call as a chart title. So chart title, my chart title can be changed. By default, it will consider column name as chart title, right? If I change my column name, I can write here sales by bank. Then my column name, my chart title got changed. Title got changed, right? We can edit this chart title in three ways. First step, by changing the column name, right? Second one, double click on this chart title. Double click on chart title, we can change it. Sales by bank, right? Like in this also, we can change the chart title. Hmm. And third step, third way, I mean, we can also change other way. And third way, we can click on this chart title. We can go to this formula bar. We type here equal to, and select any cell. Let's say I'm going to sell. This is my cell that I want to refer. Right? Press enter. Press enter. Now you will see if I type here bank info. If I press enter, then this is going to be my chart title because we mentioned equal to this particular cell. Equal to this particular cell. Right? So to change the chart title, so I can write here first one by changing the column name. Second one, second way is click on chart title and edit the title. Third one, click on chart title, go to formula bar, type equal to and refer the cell right? And refer the cell. Right? Like this way we can change the chart title. Now next, if I wanted to delete these lines, just select these lines and press delete button. So lines will not be there. This lines, or what we can do, select the lines. We can say right click, format grid lines. We need to select here none. We select here none. Line color, just select here none. So click on OK. So now you don't have any lines, right? So either we can select this line and press delete. Lines will not be there. Right. Now I want this number. So it is saying that what? Okay, before with that, let's say this is what sales. If this blue color bars are representing my sales. So this we call as a legend. Fine. So we can change this legend position if you want. Default it will take the right side. I want to keep this at the bottom. Then click on this legend, then go to format option, layout option. Under layout, we have option called the legend option. Legend, you can select show legend at right, bottom, left. All these options are there. Right. So I want to show at the bottom. So we can say show legend at bottom. Show legend at bottom. Right. Like this. Right. You can say here to change the legend position. Select the legend. Go to options. Option. Then we have legend. Select the position. You can select the position. Now next I want to show this number 129,356 on this bar. On this bar I want to show these numbers. Then what we can do, right click on this bars, right click on this bar. Option is add data labels. Add data label. Now you can see data labels is going to be added. Add data label option. Right. So add data label option. So if you wanted to show these numbers on the bar, so select the bar, right click on the bar. We say here uh, add data labels. Add data labels. Right. Then right here to add data labels. Right click on bar and we say add data labels. See, all the options are on right click only. All the options are right click only. Now next, I want to I want to change this format. I want to keep this value in the center and then I want to rotate. I want to apply some color, all this thing, right? So then what we can do, we can select these values and say right click, format data label. Option is format data labels. Format data labels. Now you can see here, we can format it. Now here we have option like here you can see label categories. We have value is checked. If I click on here category name, then I can show Kotak 129, SBI 357 like this. Fine. If I click on series name, then I can show it is representing my sales. It's representing sales. So we can uncheck. Now you can say label position. We can keep center. I want to keep this value as a center, inside end, inside base, outside end like this. So I want to show center. Center of the label position is center on the label. Then I want to apply some currency symbol. I want to show some rupee symbol or dollar symbol. So we can go for number and we can say currency like this way. So rupees 129, 357 like this. Right. Then we go for fill option. Fill will help us to get the background color. Let's say I want to apply some color for this. So fill, solid fill. We can select a color type. And if I increase the transparency, right? And if you wanted to apply border color for this label, you can apply border color, solid line. We can select a color. Then remaining all are like style you wanted to add or shadow you wanted to add. We can add it. And if you wanted to change this alignment, we can come to this alignment option. We can select here text direction. We can change the text direction. Right? We can change this text direction. Right? Like this way. If I click on close, we can apply all these changes. So whenever we wanted to change this data label, we say right click, format data label, format data label, and all the options are available here only. So we can use the options as per request. Format data labels. I can write here to change the format of the data labels. So I can say right click on data labels. I click on data labels. We can say here format data labels. Format data labels. Like this way. Right. Now similarly, you can also, I mean, all the options are available right click only. All the options are right click only. Now let's try to understand how to apply number and percentages in a single measure, single chart. Let's say here I have bank name and sales. Then I have discount percentage. Let's say I have some 5%, 9%, 8%, 7%, 9%, like this, 8% like this, right? Let's say I want to show sales and discount on a single chart. But the problem is here we have some in numbers and some in percentages. Discount in percentage, sales in number. So select the data, insert column chart. Right. Let's say if I wanted to change this legend, first of all, I click on the legend, go to layout, legend, show at the bottom. I can show at the bottom, right? I want to delete this one. Next, so what is missing here? Title is missing first thing. So title is missing. So click on this chart, go to layout, chart, title, and we say here above chart. I want to add a title. Title is missing. So I want to add a title. Click on this chart, go to layout. We say here chart title above chart. So I can write here. I can write here bank data. Now next what? So yes, I can see blue color bars are representing my sales, and we also have a discount that is in orange, but we are unable to see this discount percentage, right? I want to show this discount percentage. Then what we can do? So as of now, we have only one axis, primary axis, right? We have only one primary axis. So I wanted to show one more axis at the right hand side, which represents my discount percentage, right? So now how actually you can say, now click on this bar first to select only sales data, fine. So in the beside bar only we have discount. Now you can see, click on the bottom to select only discount values. Now we selected only discount values. Then we say right click on discount. We say here format data series, format data series, and select format data series, and we select here secondary axis. You can see here secondary axis. Once we click on here secondary axis, now you can see we are getting one more axis right hand side, one more axis right hand side, right? So once we get right hand side, still I'm not able to understand discount values. So we will change this bar into line, right click, change chart type, change chart type. We'll make this as a line chart. Line chart, click on OK, like this way. So when we can add data label, all this stuff. So we can say here, right click, add data label. Here also we can say right click, add data label. So we can show both sales and discount. right? So whenever we wanted to show number and percentages, so in one axis it is not possible. Then we have to create one more axis at right hand side, which is called as a secondary axis. Secondary axis, right? So to get secondary axis, what we have to do? First, select the only discount values. Select the discount values. First, I click on here bar to select sales values. Next to bar only we have discount values. Select this discount values and we say right click, format data series. Format data series. Click on here secondary axis. Secondary axis. Right? So we have secondary axis. Now to again it is very difficult to understand. So we are going to convert this bars into line. So we can say right click, change chart type. We will select here line chart. Select here line chart. Right? Then we can add data label, all these things. We can say right click, add data label. We can say right click, add data label. Right? If you want, we can also add a complete uh, table here. So to add a table, we say click on the chart. We can go to layout, uh, data labels. We have option called um, data table option. Data table option, show data table. So we can also show this entire information as table, entire information table. So to show as a table format, click on this chart, go to layout, then we say here data table option. Data table option, show data table. Show data table. Right? Like this way. So I will write here to add secondary axis. Secondary axis. So what we have to do, select the discount values. Discount values. Right click. Right click. And we say here format data series. Format data series. Select secondary axis. Secondary axis. Right? And to change the chart type of discount values, right click on discount values and we select change chart type, select line chart, select line chart, right? Like in this way, right? Right now, so this is how we can use. And like here insert, even when we go for line chart means so column chart, if you have some categorical data, we go for column chart. And similarly, we have a line chart. So when we go for line chart means whenever we wanted to show any time series data, like you have a date column, month on month performance or year on year performance, then we can go for line chart. Let's say if we have here Jan, Feb, March, April. So whenever you have month on month sales or I would say year on year sales, then yes, we can go for uh, line chart. We go for line chart. Date wise, all these type of information if you have, we can go for line chart. So select the data. We say here line chart. Line chart. We can select here line chart. Line chart. So just and whenever we wanted to show any time series data, when there is a date is involved in the data, we can go for line chart. So line chart will help us to create to understand the performance very easily. Like I can say month on month, my sales are like Jan to February increased, but again March decreased, April increased, then it is continuously decreasing till June. Then gradually it is increasing in July, August, September. Again it is down in November and December ending, right? Like in this way. Hmm? Even we can change all these things, format all these things. You can say here format. We can change this format style, all this stuff. Again, we can use all the colors and all the formats are option available under our data options only. Wanted to change this type, automatic or none, maker, marker, fill, solid fill, we can fill the values. Right? Again, if you want to add data labels, we can say right click, add data label. See, again, all the options are available, right click only. Now, apart from this, we also have pie chart. So when we go for pie chart means whenever you have some contribution data, like each contribution by pies, if you have values, then we can go for pie chart. Go for pie chart, right? Let's say if I have percentages, let's say you have some percentages, then you want to show percentage contribution of each bank, then yes, we can go for pie chart. We can go for pie chart. Okay, select here pie chart. Then it will show each bank wise, I mean say the sales contribution, right? Now you wanted to show some percentages. Let's click on the chart. I want to show this labels as well. Right click on this pie chart. We can say add data label, add data label, right? So we can adjust. I mean, if we want, we can make this as, right? Like in this way, we can do all this stuff. I mean, say, so the idea is like whenever you have any chart, any percentages, contributions are there. So very easy to representing the data in pie chart. So what we can understand by seeing this pie chart, I can say that okay, 28%, nothing but my ICIC is highest contribution. My least contribution is HDFC, right? And my second least contribution is my HSBC, like this. Which one? This is Kotak, sorry, Kotak, like this way. Hmm? So we can represent the data in this way. Again, we have different type of formatting. If we click on this chart, we can go for format option. We can go for a design option. We can have different type of designs are there. Have a different type of designs. We can select all these are designs only. Same color, dark to light. One single color, dark to light, like this way, like in this way. Right. Then similarly, we have bar chart. Bar chart is like same again. Line column chart is like horizontally we get. Bar chart will get vertical. So horizontal lines will get. Now you can say here bar chart. So it's going to be designed a bar chart. So only the difference is we are getting the data. We are getting the data. So we are going to get the data in horizontally. Horizontally we get. Previously we got vertical bar. Vertical bars. Now this time we are getting horizontal bar. We are getting horizontal bar. Right? Right. Add data labels. Add data labels. Right. So like this way. I mean, see the charts are pretty straightforward, nothing much complicated. All the options are available. Right click only. Now, similarly, if I wanted to show in area chart, see line chart and area chart both are same only. Let's see. So if I say here insert area chart, insert area chart. Now you see what is the difference you'll see in line chart and area chart. Only one difference. Now, so difference is, what is the difference? Only the difference is, so even it is also representing the same value line time series data, but the difference is it is going to cover. It is going to cover from the bottom. Like here, this portion is covered. I mean, this portion is covered. This portion is covered. This entire portion is covered. Normally, it is a line chart only. If I draw a line, it's just like a line chart only. Line chart only. But only the difference is when you say area chart, it will tell, okay, this much portion is covered. This much portion is covered. This much portion is covered. So area chart, line chart, almost like same representation. Line chart will get only one single line, whereas in area chart, we'll get this much of area is covered. Right? So this is how we can see the chart. Again, we have scatter plot. Scatter plot is nothing but whenever you want to see any relationship between the two values. Let's say if I have, let's say I'll take here. I want to understand sales and profit. I want to understand sales and profit, whether if sales are happening, whether are we getting profit or not. Here, now let's say I have here sales and profit. Now if I use here scatter plot, what we can understand from here, we just observe. Mm. Now you can see it is representing, the blue colors is representing my sales and profit is representing here. Okay. So if you look at here, when my sale is this much, my profit is, we are getting this much. So if I draw a profit line, now here sale is increased. My sale value is here, my profit is increased. Right? My sale value is here, my profit is here. My sale value increased, my profit is decreased. So like this, what we can understand from here. So how these are related, whether profit and sales. Fine. So what we are trying to understand here, this is my sales. Now first time sales, this is my sales. I got this much profit. Okay. If my sales is increased, whether my profit is increased or not. Okay. If my sale is decreased, my profit is decreased or not. If my sale is increased, then again my profit is also increased. My sale is decreased, my profit is also decreased. Right? So what we are trying to understand, so we will say that, okay, when my sales are increasing, my profit is also increasing. When my sales are down, my profit is also down. So we can say that, okay, there is a correlation is there between my sales and profit. I can say that, okay, tomorrow if my sales are increasing, definitely I'm going to get profit is also going to be increased. Sorry, profit is also going to be increased. So we can conclude something. Okay, sales versus profit. Right? So I mean, all these charts, whatever we discussed, these are all predefined charts. Charts are already available. We can go ahead and create. Right? So apart from this, we also have custom charts. Custom charts where we will use this some buttons to create a chart. Right? So I will discuss this buttons and creating a chart in tomorrow session. Let me stop here.